Hello and welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing presented by National Weather Service Pocatello for Friday the 13th of May. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. We have a trough that will sweep through during the afternoon hours. It will bring a risk of rain and snow to the central Idaho mountains and the eastern highlands. Not very much though. We'll also see though very windy conditions. There is a wind advisory in effect for the Snake River Plain. And it starts at 11 a.m. and continues until 9 p.m. tonight. And that wind advisory means winds are expected to exceed 30 miles an hour, sustained with gusts over 40. Any snow that should develop in the central Idaho mountains and the eastern highlands should be 6 inches or less for all locations. So there is no winter weather advisory in effect. High pressure will begin to build in late tonight, but it cannot stop some showers for the for the central Idaho mountains and upper Snake Highlands, especially during the afternoon. It's not as windy, but still winds should be in excess of 20 miles an hour in places like the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. And a warming trend will continue in spite of the cloudiness and the potential for precipitation. And the next storm arrives late Sunday evening, mostly in the northern half of the area. Sunday actually should be fairly nice, nearly cloud-free. So let's take a look, especially at the first 2 days, what will be happening. First, though, we start off with a satellite image. Here's a storm that is leaving us earlier during the overnight hours here on Friday morning. And the next storm is starting to come in. You can see it back in here. All right, so we are looking for, in the morning at least, a chance of snow and rain in the southeast and eastern highlands. Then that will fade out. And the next chance for rain really won't be until late tonight, and that would be for the Lost River and Sawtooth areas. A chance of, again, high elevation snow, low elevation rain. So the big thing really is the very windy conditions in the Snake Plain and the windy conditions in the Magic Valley. And windy would mean 20 to 30 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 40. Then on Saturday, we see there is a chance of AM rain and snow will continue in the morning hours for the Lost River, Wood River, Sawtooth, and Lemhi County, with the Sawtooth actually being likely. And so that's where the brunt of the accumulations will be, in the Sawtooth area for the central Idaho mountains. And you can see the eastern highlands, they'll have a chance of rain and snow. There's even a slight chance of thunderstorms. And it won't be very windy in the Snake River Plain, eastern Magic Valley, but it will be windy. And there is a slight chance of rain showers in the northern end of the Snake Plain, mostly north of Rexburg. Then on Sunday, we stay pretty good during the day. The only thing we'll see is some afternoon breezy conditions for the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. Otherwise, it won't be until the overnight hours where we'll see a chance of rain, and that would be mostly in the central Idaho mountains, and then the eastern highlands, which would be the Island Park, Victor Driggs area. Just some late nights, and it's just a slight chance of rain. So most people for Sunday, one of our nicer days. This will also be the warmest day of the next 7. Then on Monday, we do have some cloud cover moving in. It'll help cool things down, and you can see there's some slight chances of rain, mostly in the eastern highlands and the central Idaho mountains, but not everywhere there. You can see the Wood River will probably escape it, and it's actually a chance of rain for the eastern highlands for the Driggs area. And then on Tuesday, once again, an afternoon slight chance of rain for those eastern highlands. And we're all looking for winds to return to the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. But for the most part, it looks like most of the precipitation should be done Monday night, and Tuesday actually should be fairly dry, at least through Tuesday afternoon. All right, so let's take a look at how this evolves. First, for today, you can see where the precipitation is most likely. And again, it's a rain-snow mix, and that really means not mixed together, but it depends on the elevation. So let's see how it evolves. So this morning, we are the clouds, precipitation, were moving into the central Idaho mountains this morning, and so it did leave. You can see as much as 2 to 3 inches of snowfall in the extreme high elevations. That's probably in excess of 9,000 feet. But places like Stanley Basin could have around an inch already collected this morning. And of course, for the late morning hours, sun comes up, things start to warm, and so a lot of it changes to rain at lower elevation. But you can see even Stanley is somewhere between 0 and a half an inch, and you can see it has started in the eastern highlands by 6 a.m. this morning. And then in the afternoon, obviously the warmest part of the day, and so it pretty much changes to all rain. And the same for the evening hours. And then after midnight, as things start to cool, you can see once again we start to see snow accumulations getting down to the Stanley elevation, so around 6,200 feet in the Central Idaho Mountains. Very little going on except in the Tetons on the east side of our forecast area. Here's the other thing to watch out for. We are looking for winds, and this shows the wind gusts. So it would be the peak wind, and this is the peak time for it. So this is between 1 and 4 p.m. You can see the bright red there. It looks like gusts close to 50 miles an hour. And you can see when you start to get to the US 20 and I-15 corridor down in the heavily populated areas of our forecast area, we are still getting gusts to around 39 miles an hour, and that could mean sustained winds of 30 for Pocatello, Blackfoot, Idaho Falls, and Rexburg. But the further west you go, you can see it falls off considerably. As shown Burley, not in that area for the wind advisory. Here are the highs for today. About the same as they were yesterday. We're looking at highs right around 60 degrees for a lot of the Snake River Plain. And then overnight lows, we will still be having cloud cover, so fairly mild, although it will get below freezing where it starts to clear out in the Central Idaho Mountains. And this is a total accumulation through 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, expected. And so you can see it just barely gets to 6 to 7 inches in the very highest portions of the Stanley Mountains that surround Stanley Basin. In Stanley itself, just 2 inches during that whole 24-hour period or so. And you can see really still just a dusting, barely getting an inch in places like Island Park. All right, moving on to day 2, that would be Saturday. You can see rain and snow, mixed precipitation still hanging on in pretty much the same locations as the day before. So let's see how that evolves. So here's 6 a.m. to noon. You can see it still continues, and this is when the bulk of it will be falling, actually. And as you can see, as it starts to warm here in the evening hours, that there's really nothing going on here. And even for the afternoon, again, really light, barely registering anything. And even Stanley has nothing in terms of snowfall. Should be all rain, whatever falls there in the afternoon. So here, once again, peak winds, same time, 1 to 4 p.m. You can see that we are looking, once again, for gusts to around 40, 45 miles an hour, mostly over the Arco Desert. But elsewhere, gusts down about 4 to 8 miles an hour. So gusts, only just above 30 miles an hour for the heavily populated areas. And highs, in spite of, keeping some cloud cover, look at how much it's starting to boost up. We're looking at 8 to 12 degrees warming. And so we'll be close to 70 degrees in some portions of the Snake River Plain, eastern Magic Valley. And then overnight lows, clouds will start to thin out. And so we're back to below freezing in some of the Stanley Basin. But temperatures still in the Snake River Plain, eastern Magic Valley, because of how warm we get, will stay actually fairly mild. Here is the total rainfall through Friday night. You can see, sort of where the liquid water is. You can see still, though, for Rexburg, Idaho Falls, Blackfoot, Pocatello, and Burley, so that heavily populated corridor, not any rainfall really to expect. And the further south you go, the less. And here's the winds for Sunday. Again, in the afternoon, you can see it's considerably less, barely making it to 20 miles an hour. Sunday forecast highs. You can see close to 80 degrees in the eastern Magic Valley, in the Raft River Valley, and in the Goose Creek Valley, and at least mid-70s for even places like Idaho Falls. And look at Stanley at 64. And overnight lows. On Monday, we should start seeing an increase in cloud cover, so temperatures are a little bit more mild. Some places not getting below 50 degrees. So once again, that's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number here. Or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.